rolling down the
A lot of chain in Memphis, and I pumped the. Don't you remember?
You went a different way.
It's
with
the.
that.
Well, I love that background.
was a different way.
The background Ike vocals are nuts.
Negro spiritual.
Have you not heard the first part when they go slow?
No.
Yo, when they lead up to it, it's like the old happy day. Of course.
Yeah. But it's way too long.
And we rolling,
Yeah, no.
rolling. Oh, fam, when Ike starts getting in his bag about rolling,
It's not like Animal House. Make me wanna shout. That,
No.
Come on.
It's not Isley Brothers.
That elevation.
I said, I want you to know. I want you to know
Yo,
right
that
now.
scene felt like it went on. I don't know if it was because I was a kid.
No, fam.
But it felt like it went on for at least half an hour.
It's a long. First of all, those movies back in the day, like from the SNL crew from the 70s, they were very long. Have you ever seen Blues Brothers?
Yes.
With Dan Aykroyd and Jim
with
Belushi?
the hats.
John
Jim
Belushi.
Belushi.
Not according to Jim, so it's got to be John. There's the first Belushi brother, John
Sorry,
Belushi.
Yeah.
Because I only know it.
Suicide.
Yes.
Or overdose.
Yeah,
overdose.
Because I only know him because it's according to Jim.
Great documentary
and the real
of him
nigga.
on
yes.
HBO.
Yes, that was very, very good. Remind me about HBO because I watched a movie last night.
I will remind you about HBO. We're going to get into these Emmy nominations later on.
Oh, great.
And
yes.
I hate to, this one might be called I Told You So. We are recording. This one might be called I Told You So. Because we
called a lot
from I want to say
from the early episodes.
Yeah,
that might have been our first foundational 4 episodes where we talked about.
That might have been our first prediction.
They're coming back. They're coming back with a storm.
Yeah, it was the Fresh Prince reunion. Whatever episode we talked about the Fresh Prince reunion, and we said HBO Max is doing a little something.
And then that's when we false reported the Friends reunion because it was like a fake thing on YouTube, but they announced it. And then lo and behold, months later. Friends reunion.
See in a circle. Welcome back. I'm Marlon.
I'm Gabe.
And welcome back to the Concession Stand where we talk TV and film. What did you watch this week?
I watched a lot of things. I caught up on the Superman and Lois, which I think is a sleeper. I've talked about it before.
Yes, you have.
But it's a little bit of a sleeper.
Now, when you say it's a sleeper, is it like Flash?
It's better than Flash.
Thank you.
And
God.
I would even say the writing, like the story building of what they have going on, is better than anything Marvel has put out. Story-wise. I want to emphasize story-wise.
Now,
not graphics-wise.
For those who haven't seen it,
Superman and Lois is like, let's say
Lois and Clark or Smallville. Which side is
it's far more on Smallville.
It's far more Smallville than it is.
But
Lois
it's Superman. It's about Superman coming back to Smallville with his now established family and all of the shit that happens in a small town.
Okay.
So they're like, but with that, there's like the secret Superman-ness of it. So like the big company that comes to town is actually maybe like a Lex Luthor type.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to spoil it. But as the show progresses, it's a lot more serious than that.
It's the whole oligarch comes to town.
Yeah. The Jeff Bezos comes. I'm building an Amazon. Everybody can join. Very much that. But as it builds.
But isn't that a good... I want to discuss that.
Let me finish the Superman where we'll get back to the oligarch because he plays a big role.
Okay.
So it's also Superman being a dad. So how do you deal with kids who might not be superheroes when you're a superhero?
His kid's like a fucking nerd.
So but here's the thing. One's like a nerd and he's the one who has powers. Wow. And one's like a star athlete, but he doesn't have powers. So back in Metropolis, it's like he's a cool brother, like whatever. And then they get to Smallville. Next thing you know, superhero little brother who's a nerd is kind of the guy.
Yeah.
And now he's got to figure out how to be a lot more respectable, like more humble about himself. The younger, one of the brothers because they're twins.
I like that.
It's a great parenting, but
it's just 2 boys they have?
2 boys. They have 2 boys. It's Lois is in there, and Lois is coming back.
Choice.
She's coming back because she left the Daily Planet. So like, we don't have a job, so what are we going to do for money? That's also in here, and it's all very smartly written.
Was Superman's family established in the comic books?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was about to say,
not to this extent. Not to this extent. It's not canon. Let's not like the average reader of the comic or follower of Superman would not have that much understanding of like the family dynamics.
Because I'm kind of surprised that in this day and age of pandering,
why you would not have
a daughter that has the powers with the jock brother that's
usually that would make more sense because that's what they're doing with like the Miss Marvel series, right? As a new Marvel character that they're writing. But I think the Sons is a story in there. Like I think that's already established in some capacity.
Okay. Because I don't know if there's other versions of Superman, if they're multiverse versions.
A lot of
multiverse.
multiverse.
I've seen so many different Superman costumes that I would assume that they're different Supermans.
No, all the same guy.
They're all the same
So
guy.
all the things are, it's like him learning about himself. So when he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, he has like the black suit.
Okay.
It's like in his like Batman cave of things.
Yeah.
He gets like another suit that it's like more traditional for Krypton, where he's from.
I see the blue and black. I've seen the blue and black.
Sometimes it's variations on the black. It's
Okay.
like the post-death of Superman era. That's what they tried to do.
never
with
variations on the
Snyder.
white. Stay woke.
There is a white suit, like when they go to the Arctic and he's in
I
space.
tried. I tried to make it a race
No,
thing.
they got everything. They got everything. It's Superman.
Is Superman Canadian?
Superman was written by a Canadian.
Written by a Canadian, but not a Canadian.
No. So
I hate that.
There's
That's
a
just like
story.
basketball.
There's a story that Metropolis and Gotham are supposed to be Toronto and New York, but really it's Chicago and New York.
Yeah, that we know.
New
what
York,
it is.
New York being Gotham and Chicago being
They
Metropolis.
never give us that.
That was like how this guy described it though, because he only knew Toronto and New York, and
and
he's
then
like,
the
New
powers
York
that
is a
be
much
said.
grimier place. They're like, Chicago's our Toronto.
Chicago's better.
Chicago's a little bit more
They
manageable.
got zanies. Got the deep dish. Definitely. Okay, Superman and Lois.
But the oligarch is like this interesting, like it starts off as like a kind of half a villain, like a local villain, not like a space villain.
so he grew up there.
This guy's a brand new guy.
Okay.
So he's just a new character, but you don't really see him. And then eventually as the series progresses, this oligarch figure is also like not just a Lois villain, like a bad guy in the
Yeah.
city, but he's also like maybe a little bit more substantial. Very interesting stuff.
This is my thing with that whole story.
There's a black guy who comes back who's married to Lois Lane from like a multiverse. That's a crazy storyline.
Whoa. Okay, I love this sudden influx of multiverse plot lines.
But it's how comic books are built. It's like it's the concrete of how
Yeah.
comic books are built, because you have to keep selling stories. So you kill a guy off and you're like, meanwhile, in planet 572, he exists somewhere else.
well, history and science have proven to be very like key factors that play into
The
comic
engine.
books.
Yeah, the gas behind a lot of these
It's like
science fiction
the
stuff.
framework of everything is science and history. So, like for example,
That's a good point.
final episode of Loki.
Crazy stuff.
Just the way it starts off is pointing to history, right? You got it's like you hear a bunch of voices. I was assuming it was just like old Marvel movies and stuff like that, but
in the beginning of the episode. Yeah, well,
apparently
it is.
it's also Maya Angelou. It's Greta.
Really?
It's a bunch of different.
So it's like the timeline of history.
The
So
timeline of history.
Here's real things that happen, and also here's our timeline of things that have happened.
and see that's
Right,
that's what Marvel's so good at doing. Well, comic books in general are so
Mixing
good at doing
life
is
and-
marrying the two, right? And I noticed it at the start of this final amazing episode of Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Like this probably is the most talk heavy episode. We already had a talk heavy episode
much
that we
exposition.
hated.
But with no stakes, that's the issue.
I don't know if it was no
This
stakes.
is all stakes.
Do you think it's the,
The
same
stakes are
writers
piled
throughout?
high like the butcher shop.
Do you think it's the same writers throughout?
I think it's the same room, but I think there's definitely like a lead writer on this. I'm sure we can easily verify this, but like I suspect.
Could you look that up for us? See if who the writer is on.
Triz is our producer.
Trish is our producer. We got to get him a camera. Could you see if who the writers were for
Each
Loki,
episode of Loki.
all the episodes?
Because I suspect that much like most prime television, you have one lead actor for each episode. Waldron he's the writer for all of them.
For all of them,
He's the lead writer.
he's the lead writer. Okay,
But
because
there's
this one
probably
felt
somebody
just
in there.
so different, and I don't know. It also could be the amazing Jonathan Majors.
Let's be honest. Let's talk turkey here. Are we not? Is this not just a fan podcast
Can
at this
you
point?
guys just
How
like,
long
hire
have
us?
we been talking about
Just
Johnny?
hire us.
Johnny Mage.
That's our guy.
Big Mage.
I think we've talked about him more than anyone else on this
since
podcast.
the Five Bloods.
Yeah, other than John David Washington, who's the polar opposite of the spectrum, I think
Definitely
we've talked.
two sides. No, it's a trifecta. It's Michael B. Jordan.
This is our starting three, our big three. This is the big three right
The
here.
big three league of this the tripod of this podcast that supports us is Michael B.
Tripod.
Jordan, John David Washington, and our boy Johnny Majors. Johnny Majors is just such a class act. And I looked up his IMDb. Fam, it's not deep, eh? He just hasn't missed.
He just doesn't miss, and he's had a hell of a week in general, right? You have the Loki episode where we finally get introduced to his character Kang.
Yep.
Who actually isn't Kang the Conqueror.
He's just one of the many Kangs.
He's just one of millions of Kangs.
And he's like, I'm the Kang who's the most stable. You may think I'm terrible, and I am,
and
but
he's
I'm
lying
the least terrible.
entire time. I think they're all fucked. I think he's also fucked.
Well, he's fucked, but he's the least fucked.
I don't know if he's the least fucked.
No, his fuck took the way of I'm gonna make an authoritarian regime, as opposed to I could just kill everybody.
Okay, so how did you take his?
It was great.
His giving them the throne, so to speak. How did you take that? Did you take it as him?
He knows everything, so he knows I'm going to win.
But he said he doesn't know anything from that point. So are you saying he started lying?
He's double speaking.
This is my point, though. He says he has that amazing acting moment.
Fam. When he hops up on the table?
No, not even that. I'm talking about when he tells them, like, this is what I want you guys to do, and this is the only way people will get free will, essentially. And as soon as he says that, he just...
Oh, everything... Oh, different. Well...
And the camera pans slow.
Doesn't that remind you when he was playing slow? What's his face in Last Man in Black San Francisco?
Very much.
Black Man in San Francisco.
Very much when he's in his head, right? And
he's like, oh, wait. Different.
I think we just crossed the threshold.
That's fam.
And
beyond the looking glass.
He's like, I don't know what happens anymore. Like I can't predict any. I don't have any other things because you saw the branches of the timeline branching out.
Because what is the timeline? When you get to Kang, what's the timeline look like around the castle? It's a circle. And everything because everything's in the loop.
Yep.
It's a loop.
Yeah.
But once a branch is not a loop, it's gone. Yeah. It's in the world.
And some of those branches crossed.
Damn, it was looking crazy.
And he said that the universes are stacked on top of each other, right? And so
which means everybody's in their own line and there's nothing
out of order, which is why the TVA was so important.
Pruning, that's why they call it pruning.
Why?
Because they're trimming the branches, fam. Yo.
Good find, sir.
Well
Good
done.
Find, sir. This is potting, baby.
Oh, we potted. What did they pay us for?
They don't.
They don't pay us. They don't pay us. But one can hope.
One day. But yeah.
What a revelation. Wow.
Dog.
I really had to take my glasses off for that one. That was so crazy. Because I'm like, why are you calling it pruning? Pruning seems like such an odd...
I've been trying to figure this out for so long.
I'm like, I can, but you know what I thought? It was just some slick shit to put on a whiteboard in the writer's room. They're like, yo, pruning.
Oh, yeah. It's like when I try to come up with blended as like a term for being drunk.
Listen, I don't give you enough, shoot you enough bail, but blended really happened in 2010?
Come on.
2011? Blended had a stretch.
Blended stuff.
Yeah, blended had a stretch. It did. That being said, pruning, when I just realized it as we're talking, I was like,
that's crazy.
There's no way these two things exist.
I mean, it has to.
And don't come into
You don't
contact.
say branch and prune and they not.
I'm pissed that I realized this so late.
I'm pissed that we realized it at all.
Now, live.
Fuck.
But do you think Kang, the future Kangs,
yes.
the other, I shouldn't say future, the derivatives of Kang, do you think any of them will come back to try to make the TVA?
Absolutely not. I don't think so. I think it's kind of like what Doctor Strange was saying when he's like, I've seen 14 million different possibilities.
There's only one.
This is the only one that works. And he kind of said the same shit. Like,
no, he didn't say that's the only one that works.
He said, I've lived a million lifetimes, and this is the only way that this works. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's tried every way, but he's lived so long and tried, and he finally got to one, and he's like,
this is rare. Let's roll the dice on this.
Let's see what's going on. Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Yeah. And
do you think once the TVA has failed, Kang's going to come back? All these other Kangs. Do you think?
Well, I think they're already back. This is the thing. Around. The timeline's branched out.
So that's when they're probably all splintering.
Then she pushed him back into the 10-pack.
It was already happening. And then
so the timeline's already different, which is why when he goes back now,
he's in a brand
Kang the Conqueror is the actual timekeeper.
Some of these things have already... It was never stopped in that timeline, so he went through.
And I don't know where Renslayer went. Because I'm thinking Renslayer's going to walk in at the last scene where they're fighting.
Meet up with him.
And link up with him. Where did she go? And if she dipped and the timeline changed, does that mean she's different in this timeline? Is she now his actual wife?
But she may walk in, but wouldn't she run into herself again? She would run into her version of herself in that reality.
But she knows Wagwan. She's the only one version of herself that knows what's going on.
I think they're going to try to play up a version of Kang and her together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think they're going to want to show us that. They're not going to just
in
drop
the comic books they were together.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I think Marvel's going to want us like build the relationship in front of us.
Okay.
We actually follow
kind of like him. Loki and Loki.
Yes. Yeah. But they're not going to like say this is already happening and just drop us into the story. I think they're going to want us to show here's how they get together.
But
here's how they do their own
storyline. I think it would still make sense if the new season starts and she's his right hand like lieutenant or whatever. They're gonna have to
explain it though, in some capacity.
I mean, I would love for them to show what happened when she walked through that temp pad portal. I need to know what those moments were and where she even ended up, like what universe that was. Because mind you, Loki goes backwards in the temp pad and shows up, and there's a Mobius and a B whatever B-15,
and they're the exact same versions of themselves.
They're not,
but they're in a different reality.
Oh, you mean like okay, I see.
Like they're in a crisis. They're both of them have seen whatever's going on. They just never did it with Loki.
What does he want us to do? Which was my first clue of like,
there he is. Who's he?
I'm like, who's he? That's the first
and
thing.
And then you remember when what Miss Minute said, "Oh, he's gonna love it."
Yeah, and this is the only way that we could safely put you back into the timeline.
He's gonna want you to read these.
Exactly.
What did she read?
Exactly. She sat down, read something, and then the scene changed. I was like,
so maybe that's where she's going.
Dog, this episode was juicy. It reminded me of like.
Well, I also realized that they were supposed to do 12 episodes of this, but they only put out 6 or finished 6 due to COVID. Because this was a prime COVID.
That's how long ago they filmed it,
basically.
Wow.
So I mean, it was only a couple. Like
it's a lot of CGI, by the way.
This is the thing. So it's good looking CGIs, which is why these things tend to take longer, right? And they're unionized folks. So I think the story was built to be over 12 episodes.
Yeah.
So when they say we're coming back for season 2, it's going to be like Lupin. There is the first part. Yeah. Here's the part 2 to this.
Yeah. Which I would assume would come out before Doctor Strange or before Ant-Man. Sorry, because Kang is in that quantum realm, quantinium realm or something like that.
But I think they're probably going to put the movies in between, and then by the time we get to Loki Part 2, even though we've learned more information, it's going to be, and here's Kang again.
We'll see, yeah. I mean, it's because they can go so many directions. They love
to stack these movies in weird timelines.
Yeah.
So I don't think they care that this one's a little out of order now. So then it'll be a good reminder to be like, remember all that shit that started this?
There's a reason why those sites have the chronological orders. Because
with all the interesting moments, and they have ones that even add in like that old shitty show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that they're like, oh, episode 3 explains this.
Yeah, which I'm like that.
There's a very few of them, but I'm like, who was even watching them? Yeah. Anyways,
I'm like, they're genius for a lot of this shit.
Of course,
like genius level writing.
But of all of it, I'm just happy that they put Jonathan Majors in this position, and him getting
to us, by the way.
And all of the fam when Paul Bettany lied as Vision, he's like the guy we're gonna surprise you with is a guy I've always wanted to work with but never have. I admire this actor. The nigga was talking about himself the whole time, fam. He was talking about acting alongside himself. You're not allowed to tell the truth in Marvel.
He's never gotten the opportunity to do so.
You're not allowed to tell the truth in Marvel.
He's never gotten the chance to do so.
Fuck that nigga. I lost money. I thought it was going to be...
You bet money on that?
I thought it was going to be Magneto. I thought it was going to be Michael Fassbender Magneto.
That'd be fucking crazy.
I was set. See, that's what happens. I talked myself into it. Wow. Never talk yourself into a bet. That's how you lose.
That's how most people lose. Yeah.
This is Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors is having a big week. Got nominated for an Emmy for one of our favorite shows.
Before we go on to that, I was saying this episode reminded me of the end of Wizard of Oz. Like just finally seeing who's behind the curtain and controlling everything.
Look, pay no attention to the man behind.
This guy who's like super quirky, like he's like playful almost.
Yeah.
And I think he really played that side up because Kang is going to be a one serious guy.
I think we're going to get so many different versions. Remember when they killed Thanos and then they met second Thanos? And it was like a different...
He's cooking and shit. Nigga peaceful in the mountains.
Looking like Ving Rhames and Baby Boy. Just cooking up, just flipping.
Facts.
I say that to say this. I think we're gonna be interested in.
Thanos is the market correction for Ving Rhames. That's the only answer.
He's gonna be in the next Mission Impossible.
He's gonna be in Pulp Fiction too.
Ethan, Thanos, we have the meats.
Was that what?
Arby's.
What's that movie where he dressed up like a woman?
Lovely. Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
Love something. There's a great
body that.
There's a great YouTube series where it's Prim's Hood Classics where he
Yup.
the one where he did that one where Ving Rhames is in a dress the whole time.
Prims is funny as hell.
It's a funny ass
Yeah.
remind. Anyways, great movie. Ving Rhames.
Jonathan
Black All-Star.
Majors. Crazy week. 18 nominations for Lovecraft Country. A show that
got
we
canceled
previously reported
for blood
was
clots.
canceled.
HBO.
This is what I'm talking about when I say the racism.
But they got picked up by Netflix. Ding, 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 ding.
Like, for sure, for sure?
My girl signed a multi-year deal.
She signed a deal, but does that mean...
including Lovecraft.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if they
Bellissimo.
get to pick. I
When's
don't
the
know
last
when
time
this
we've
deal...
seen a show of this magnitude switch networks? Has that ever happened?
Shonda Rhimes and that hospital shit.
Grey's Anatomy?
Grey's Anatomy used to be a network NBC show,
Uh-huh.
and then she picked that shit up and she took that shit to Netflix. And what did she start
Wait.
at? What did she start at Netflix?
What do you mean?
She took Grey's Anatomy. She moved to Netflix.
So, wait, Grey's Anatomy doesn't come on TV anymore?
I don't think so. I think this last season. No, what I'm saying is I think it's still aired on TV, but all of that catalog is on Netflix.
Well, yeah, but that's with a
No,
bunch
but-
of shows.
NBC wasn't dropping it like that.
How to Get Away with Murder is on Netflix. Scandal, like
Only back, but recently.
no,
That's
I'm
what
talking
part of
about
the Shonda
when it
deal.
was coming out too. Like there's a
I thought the Shonda deal.
No, not Breaking Bad. There was another one that was like while it was out on
But
TV.
AMC's different. AMC was always moving like that. I think
Okay.
because she was on a network, the back catalog, or maybe I'm misquoting. Maybe the numbers were different.
Okay.
But she gets to bring back catalog, and then they gave her Bridgerton.
Yeah, Bridgerton.
But that was all part of
which
the.
is also a big hit now. And the guy left.
because of her.
He left because of her.
No.
Oh.
It was a big hit because of her.
Yeah.
I don't think they're treating him especially well.
She just did Gossip Girl in the 1800s.
Shauna don't give a fuck, Sam.
I rate it.
Shauna knows where the money resides
I rate it.
and where people's Netflix
She
dollars
put
reside.
multiculturalism in a time where there should be racism. And just
She's
said,
like, I seen it on
just run with it.
in British plays. They'll be fine.
Let's just
Coronation
run with it.
Street does it for
Coronation
thousands of
Street.
years. I'll do it.
Oh man, that's a classic.
But I don't know if. But did Grey's Anatomy get an Emmy for their final season? This Is Us got an Emmy. Got nominated, I
well,
should
let's
say.
look at the Emmy list, shall we? I have it here. Drama series: The Boys, Bridgerton, The Crown, Handmaid's Tale, Lovecraft Country, The Mandalorian, Pose, and This Is Us. I've heard amazing things about Pose. I've never watched it.
Pose is fantastic. Highly recommend.
Lovecraft is my obvious pick, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for Bridgerton or Handmaid's Tale.
What is interesting is I'm glad they separated this in miniseries.
What do you mean?
Because the miniseries category is
okay, I see
it's
what you
a doozy, fam.
Let's look at the comedy series. Blackish, Cobra Kai.
What a story for them. From the obscurity of YouTube to the Emmys. Wow. Isn't that crazy?
As a comedy?
I don't know, man. I'm just happy they did it. I think it's just a good proof of concept that you can make something on YouTube and take it to TV.
Well, it's not that simple. They had
I agree.
a loyal following.
A lot of bullshit, like a lot of shit
Classic kick.
had to fall their way.
I mean, kids fucking grew up and did it. Kids are still doing this. I
Wax
seen a little
on,
kid do it.
wax off.
They don't know about that part, though.
They
They
have
need
to.
to.
Kids don't know about wax on, wax off?
All they know is this shit.
No shit, eh?
All they know.
That's tragic.
Blackish, Cobra Kai, Emily in Paris, Hacks,
Emily in Paris? Tuh. Terrible show.
Hacks, The Flight Attendant, The Kaminsky Method, Pen 15, and Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. You love to see
Ted Lasso is your
You
shit.
love to see
That's
it.
the one you told me
My man
about.
Jason Sudeikis
I'm
is
watching it
having a
tonight.
hell. First
He's
of all,
having a hell of a
my
week.
nigga Jason Sudeikis. Shout out to that guy.
I don't
Killing
know.
it.
I
Legend.
mean, I rate the T-shirt. I love the T-shirt.
No, he's 12 out of 10 guy.
Did you see the T-shirt?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Respecting British soccer, respecting black people.
Yes.
You gotta rate it.
All at the same time.
Sneakerhead was going through a divorce during the filming of the first Ted Lasso to a Miss Olivia Wilde, a very bad white lady, while she was greasing up Harry Styles
on a yacht.
Fam,
Hurts.
and then he had to.
That's the
I don't
shit
know
to make
what.
your
I
soul
don't know
burn slow.
what award show it was, but he was on camera, and my man looked like real tired. And like Harry Styles, it might have been the Grammys. Why was he there? Anyways, but Harry Styles is like playing, and my nigga just looks so happy for him. I'm like, this guy's above it. That's what I think. My man has to be above it. He's like, look good for that kid. Look at him.
Well, we know that
You lose to Harry Styles, you got to be like, we're going in different paths, sweetheart. Like that's just
some white men and other men having sex with their wife is just not an issue.
oh no.
It's just not an issue.
Oh, don't do that.
It's not something prevalent in the black community.
don't do
I know that
that.
much. But
Don't do that.
You know, cucking
Oh, Jesus Christ.
is a thing that happens with Caucasians. I just got to call a spade a spade.
I see why you picked Spade. That's funny. That's all types.
But yeah, I got to check out Ted Lasso. I remember you telling me about
Ted
that.
Lasso
from
is
Time.
fantastic.
Now, this is a great category. Limited series. I May Destroy You, Mayor of Easttown, The Queen's Gambit, The Underground Railroad, and WandaVision.
Oh,
I May Destroy You is my pick.
if it doesn't win,
I'm sick.
I'm setting a torch.
Yeah.
To,
The Queen's Gambit was great.
You can't be Queen's Gambit. I mean, no, you can, but
Mayor
I think
of
it's gonna
Easttown,
win.
I've heard good things. I haven't seen
You know
it.
the whites love them a Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
They love a Kate Winslet.
I mean, I think
They
I
were-
would have
they
thrown
saw her
in
on Titanic.
the Undoing.
You know how I felt about The Undoing. I thought it was fine.
Well,
I don't know if it's Emmy
I
worthy.
thought it was great.
Great?
Great.
Great?
I fucking loved it.
Really?
I loved it.
I don't know.
Or maybe
man.
Your Honor, limited
I
series.
could see the Your Honor.
Your
I
Honor
can
just-
listen to the Your Honor.
It's that boss. It's that mob.
But didn't
boss.
you notice what's
It's the mob
Don't
boss.
you notice what's glaringly missing on this list?
in limited series? Limited series.
And in drama series. No, in drama series. A glaring,
I don't-
glaring miss. Snowfall.
yeah, no. I was gonna bring that up later on. What's his name again?
Damson
Damson Idris. He tweeted like, "Oh, we're not nominated for anything, but thank you guys for the support." And I was just like,
Huh? That's what I said. Because I looked on the list looking for, I'm like, well, they're a series, but I'm like, they got to be in some other category. Then I realized there was no other category. They just got gypped.
"Do you think it's possible that
Swindled.
they just missed the show?"
It's on FX.
So?
Atlanta swept the Emmys when they came out.
That's
so
Atlanta.
did nah. There's no way you miss it. First of all, you have to submit.
How do you watch the show and not give it one Emmy?
Because
Not even costume design?
fam.
Nah, it's impossible, bro.
No. I
think
agree.
they don't- I
like
think
how
they don't know it exists.
I like how your go-to is like they just must not know.
They can't.
They must not know.
Come on, bro. Come on.
I'm the one. I think they should win.
You can fathom them seeing that show and not giving
not
it something.
niggas figuring out the CIA. Hell no.
It's history.
I see,
Well-known history, public.
See, Marlon, I agree, and you agree. But you see the idiot over there.
Okay, let's see if there's a controversy. The Underground Railroad. Come on, you put that over Snowfall?
Don't you remember? White people love.
We
niggas.
don't know about Harriet running back and forth.
They love a Harriet story. They love a old.
They also love us on crack. Wanda be killing that.
Yeah, but the niggas
They
is
put
smart.
a Wanda in the
But
categories.
they love. Stop.
But there's a Wanda here.
Not even Wanda Sykes. How dare they?
I wonder why they didn't put the greatest crackhead of all time. I'm going on record of saying the greatest. I mean, Pookie was a joint. Pookie did his thing. Okay. Who else? Who else good on crack? Tyrone Biggums. No, is that his name?
Tyrone
Biggums.
The guy in the one episode of Che. That one guy killed
I
it.
rewatched that show, man. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so funny.
What's
What's the last time you had sex? Damn, Nick, what's the last time you had sex? That's just,
Yo.
that gets me
But
all the time.
nah, she was the greatest crackhead I've ever seen.
I'll tell
she
you what.
deserves something.
I'll tell you what. I don't know how you award that. How do you award great
Crackhead?
crackhead?
Make it a category, nigga.
Then there's gonna be a lot of niggas. There's gonna be a lot of niggas just
Lead-
trying their best doing the shuck and jive to be a crackhead. I don't want that.
Lead actor in a drama series: Sterling K. Brown, Jonathan Majors, Josh O'Connor, Regé Jean Page, Billy Porter, Matthew Reese.
I love Billy Porter. I want him to. I
think
win.
Billy Porter deserves it for the snubbing of Pose in prior years.
Is Pose canceled?
I think it's done. I don't know if it's canceled, but I know it's done.
Yes, it's no longer.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was some sort of controversy about what happened.
I feel like there was too, but I do know there was controversy over them getting snubbed the last Emmys. They were Snowfall last year.
Facts.
They
They
were
really
Snowfall.
should because it's a really good show.
Pose didn't receive, I don't think, a single nomination for anything.
Nuts. Unrelated, Billy Porter, my niece. I'm doing a lot of Sesame Street with my niece lately, and Billy Porter. First of all, I haven't like investigated Sesame Street, fam, and they're like really good. There's an Usher Sesame Street little clip, and it's fantastic. Just like when we were kids and Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle came on, same idea.
Yeah.
It's crazy to be like, wow, Patty Usher's our Patti LaBelle.
Facts.
Man, you don't know nothing about no Usher.
Dog, LL Cool J, Will
Right?
Smith.
Right?
Like, yeah, Whoopi.
The best part is, but the Billy Porter's on one, and it's a great Sesame Street episode.
Sesame Street.
Very impressed. Great
I
song.
would love to see their new format. Like, how are they teaching the kids now? It can't be 1, 2, 3.
But
3 is the letter for the day.
Like
that can't-
the Count is still cranking out numbers.
The Count's still out here?
Fam, the Count is a Gary.
Well, he's a vampire.
You can't.
so he
No,
doesn't
you
age.
can't beat a funny voice.
Does he age? Like, have they lightened him, bleached him?
He's a. I don't know if he's as purple as he was when we were kids.
So they bleached him.
They might have.
Wow.
They might have.
That's disrespectful.
He looks vaguely peach now.
They're making him more Caucasian.
He's got a little blush in his
They're
skin.
making him more
As long
Caucasian.
as it's not black.
Oh my goodness. Lead actress in a drama series, Uzo Adubo.
Oh, In Treatment.
In Treatment.
Very good show.
Good show?
Highly recommend.
See, I love when award shows come along because there's so many shows that I know I miss because there's just too
There's
much
so
coming out.
much content.
And when you have these lists, it's so easy to be like, all right, cool, I can watch this, I can watch this. Olivia Colman, The Crown. Emma Corrin, The Crown.
Did you watch The Crown?
No.
Would you be interested in watching The Crown?
I don't think
Can
so,
I
I am.
pitch you on The Crown right
You
now?
can't.
Can I just?
John Lithgow, I know.
I know. Can I?
know.
But that was gonna be my.
Church-
That was gonna be
I
my
know.
closer, but like, okay, I can open with it.
No, I'm gonna watch it for sure. I'm gonna
It's-
actually watch it.
It's like very good. Like if you remove yourself, much like Succession.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the side by side for those of you at home. I'll do the side by side pitch for Succession and The Crown.
Go.
Both rich white people who, although you will be
Hate it
invested,
already.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Although you know when you get overly invested in like the characters in a show,
Yeah.
and it kind of stresses you out.
Okay.
You're gonna be very invested, and then right before you get stressed, you're like, "Oh, they're rich white people; they'll be fine." And then you're double invested now. Now you're watching it like, "Oh shit! Oh, Lizzie's gonna fuck these people up when they find out." And now there's so much history that gets involved
Yeah.
and interesting dialogue that I don't give a fuck what
Is
happens.
it true to
these people.
history
It's like.
or
Obviously,
romanticized?
it's not even romanticized. It's almost like super dark for no reason. Like some of it's a little salacious. In The Queen, there's a lot of salacious stuff that I'm like, we're not really sure if that happened, but then there's a lot of like, it's super well researched. So
Okay.
they kind of match it up close enough.
do the royals watch The Crown?
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, they're when it was like only about Queen Elizabeth's like younger years, they're like, yeah, we loved it. It was so funny watching our family. But now they get a lot closer and they're like, we declined to comment on the things because now they got to the Princess Diana era. This last season.
Oh,
That's nuts. Dirty Diana.
Princess Diana.
Dirty Diana's about Princess Diana's nuts.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Why
That's
not?
crazy. Because
Why
when you
not?
the show really be putting her out like she was having a lot of fun.
She
Well,
was.
so was Prince Charles.
She was having a lot of fun. He was having a lot of fun. Everybody having a lot of fun.
believe the
The black
conspiracy?
dress shit.
Do you believe
Huh?
the conspiracy that Prince Harry is not Charles' son?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. There's too much.
I tell you, man, the
Weird
random,
stuff
just
happening.
the coincidence of a random red-haired man, just
The proximity, the
close,
access.
real close.
It's giving me Fidel Castro, Justin Trudeau vibes.
That's hilarious.
I
That's
think
crazy.
that's the closest I can come
All
to.
right. remember like mid 2009 when they thought they found Barack Obama's son?
Oh my god! You remember when they found Jay-Z's son and it was just a nigga that
it's
looked
just
like
a
him?
nigga.
I was like, Jesus Christ!
And they startled the kid too because his photo wasn't like planned. He was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, the kid,
They like caught him from
he
underneath.
was so caught off guard. Yo. Journey Smollett is also nominated.
Oh, for Black Creek Country.
For Black Creek Country? You racist fuck. Black Creek Country? Not only did you make it racist, but you made it Toronto, which I gotta respect.
Country. Come on.
Black Creek Country.
Black Creek Country.
Holy shit.
They're black. They're often around creeks, and it was the
starring
country.
two Somalian characters. Two Ethiopian
The
characters.
views of Marlon do not reflect the views of Gabriel nor the C stand.
Oh my goodness. That'd be amazing. Black Creek Country.
That's hilarious.
Your man Jason Sudeikis is nominated for lead actor in a comedy series for Ted Lasso.
I want him to win so bad.
Kenan Thompson for Kenan.
He got nominated for an Emmy?
Yeah.
You know who's in that show too?
Who?
Don Johnson.
Full fucking circle. Anthony Anderson for Blackish. William H. Macy for Shameless.
Shameless is still on TV?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for those white people.
God
Glad they're
damn.
still cranking out a paycheck. Is he allowed to go to the Emmys? Remember his daughter and his wife are the one that got caught up in that admission scandal.
Yeah,
right?
he's allowed to go. He's just gonna be ashamed of himself.
What if he
and
went?
Everyone's gonna smile at his face
ashamed.
and pretend like they're not like. Ugh. There's a lot more series, a lot more
Stuff. The categories
stuff
I don't
and
care.
shit and people nominated. But yeah, those are the mains. It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a good. TV's just getting better and better. So every award show actually is like.
What's super interesting is it's a lot of the streamers. The streamers are back with a vengeance.
Absolutely
Not even back;
bodying
they're
it.
in.
I believe
Multiple
HBO
streamers, I might
has
add.
100 and HBO and HBO Max combined to take in a leading 130 total nominations.
HBO is like you thought. All we had was the comedy series.
And they don't have
The Sopranos.
nearly the same amount of content or
Marlon was Oz on
distribution
HBO.
as Netflix. No. I don't
Showcase.
think- it was on
Showcase.
Showcase,
Showcase is not a real thing though.
Yeah,
What
no.
was it? What's the American Showcase?
Fuck
A and
if I
E?
know.
No.
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. I didn't even watch the show.
You never watched Oz?
No.
It's very grimy. My
I was
goodness.
extremely homophobic them times.
It's a lot.
It scared me. To
there's
be honest.
a lot.
Yeah, my dad put it on one time. We thought it was just a normal prison show.
Nah,
And then,
it was.
Yeah.
It's very crazy.
I was like,
when J.K. Simmons started turning that man into. Oh
amen,
no!
amen.
I was like,
Yeah, he played an evil,
Fam,
evil man. That's the only person I remember from that show.
very crazy.
130 total nominations for HBO, followed closely behind by Netflix with 129. Disney Plus had a significant jump from last year with 71 nominations in its second year of eligibility.
Disney Plus.
Hey man, they coming.
Disney. I think if Disney Plus really wants to put their throat on everybody,
It's Marvel, right? Isn't that under Disney?
it's all the Marvel.
Yeah, it's all the
Not
Marvels.
only is it Marvel, you don't think they have a whole back catalog of like bad cartoon ideas that they
get
can
to-
just start chomping off?
Do you get to? You can't nominate old stuff though, right? Like even
What's
though it's a new streaming service.
No, but they can. I'm sure they have like old stuff. They can just reboot some shit. They can be
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll throw 3 of our good writers on it, like when WB made the Animaniacs, which I'm surprised
Like
didn't
Proud Family.
get anything.
Proud Family coming back.
Proud Family is coming back.
Yep.
And I'm sure it's not too long until they reboot Recess. They know we're nostalgic, so they're like, we'll give you what you want with new writing.
Who are the best 4 villains in movie history?
The Joker. Hans Gruber from Die Hard. Scar from The Lion King. That nigga's dastardly. Nah, that nigga Scar. Oh, no. I'm lying. But Scar's really good. Scar or the bad guy from The Hunchback of Notre Dame? Because that nigga from The Hunchback of Notre Dame was not redeemable at all. That guy's just bad.
Yeah.
And the worst villain. The worst.
I'm going completely different
Villain.
direction with you.
The worst villain. You know who the. I'm gonna take it there. You know who the worst villain is?
Who?
Danny Glover in The Color Purple. That guy's the worst. That guy is the worst villain of all time.
I see why.
You're coming back with.
I see why.
I can see you have points.
I completely
You've made points.
identify with that one.
They opened
sure.
with Danny Glover being a villain, and they closed with Danny Glover being a villain.
a
That's
villain.
it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It was hard for me to believe him in Lethal Weapon. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He was not too old for that shit before. All of a sudden, he wants to be old now.
Mine are Kaiser Sose.
Oh, damn, that's a good pick. He's gone.
He's gone.
Don't rat on your
The
pop.
limp
Don't rat
to
on your
the-
pop. Oh, Kaiser Sose will get you.
Steady walk with the swagger.
Great choice. I'm pissed.
Walter White.
Oh, on TV? I thought we were doing movies.
Oh, I thought I was like talking just film in general.
No, okay. I didn't have. I don't think I'd come up with a better list.
Walter White. Gustavo Fring.
Gustavo, really?
I love Gus.
You think Gus is a villain?
How is he not?
Oh, Gustavo. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Gustavo from Snowfall, not Gustavo Fring.
No.
I said I would not call that man a.
Gus.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Pollo Loco.
El Pollo Loco.
Yeah.
El Loco Poco.
And Ramsay Bolton.
Who's Ramsay Bolton?
Game of Thrones.
Okay, fair.
Cuts off his
Everybody's
finger,
bad.
cuts off his dick.
Yeah. He's just terrible.
He is vile. Like, I thought Joffrey I hated, but that nigga Ramsay,
No, he's very cold-blooded. A very cold-blooded person.
bro, man, cut off it. Man, this is how diabolical he is. He let him run away and helped him run away, only to lead him back and show him, nah, it was me.
Stringer Bell would also be in my villain category,
Okay.
like one of the good villains. Tony Soprano is just a villain. Like, he's just not a good, like, at any chance.
I've never seen The Sopranos.
Very good. I think you'd love The Sopranos because I don't think the writing is especially strong. I think it's good storytelling, but the writing doesn't move me. But you know what does move me about the writing? The jokes, the quotables. I finished watching and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna.
I'm Italian.
I just live like this. You motherfucker. You.
It's like The Wire for me. I watched like the first 2 episodes and I was just like,
I get the. Oh, really?
eh.
Oh, go through a season at least, for Christ's
Yeah,
sake.
I know. I
Yeah, I
gotta
know.
do that. I've done that. I did that with Game of Thrones, and then it
then
turned out to be the greatest show.
And
I've
you'll
ever watched.
love Bunk Moreland with the. Oh, you'll love the characters. I recommend.
I mean,
Old HBO really
I would
had a thing going for them.
Dexter too. Never seen Dexter.
Dexter didn't move me.
Yeah.
Another
I might do
good villain.
reactions to just
a good
movies I've never seen before,
Oh, that'd
and
be
put them on
interesting.
the YouTube channel.
There's a Millennial Movie Monday. I think that's what the girl's page called on YouTube. But for some reason, she just never have watched like classic movies.
Same.
So then she'll watch it. And yet you have yes, you do.
Yeah.
If you quote 12 Angry Men in the manner of which you did, you've seen more movies than the average bear. Relax.
I have seen a lot of movies.
You've seen.
Yeah, I've seen a
Don't
lot.
be like I haven't seen movies.
But I haven't
I've
seen a lot of the
of
classics.
movies.
Like I haven't seen The Hannibal. I haven't seen.
I think. Have you seen 7?
Silence of the Lambs.
You've seen 7, yes?
No.
What?
See.
Wait a minute.
See.
You haven't seen
I haven't
7?
seen Bone Collector.
You haven't seen 7? 7 is actually the worst villain. Like the guy Kevin Spacey, John Doe is the. You haven't? Can we watch? Can
I
I?
just watched No Country for Old Men.
I want to watch 7. Tell me when
I
you're
haven't
watching
even
7.
seen The Hills
Tell
of
me-
Eyes.
I don't care. Tell me when you watch 7.
7.
Yes.
Okay.
With Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt.
Oh, that one with
Yes.
the cops.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the cover.
Have you? I don't think you understand the seriousness of what I'm saying. Tell me when you watch 7. It's David Fincher, fam. It's the guy who made
Oh,
Fam.
okay.
It's like,
One of his early like stuff, or
tell me when you watch 7.
I'm gonna watch it
I
tonight.
need to. Well, don't do it. I would like to.
Why can't I watch it
I would like
tonight?
to be there. I would like to experience it.
Oh, you
want
wanna
to
watch it with me?
Yes.
All right.
It's such a
Say that in.
my nigga. It's like if you're telling me you've never watched Shawshank Redemption.
Who?
All
I'm
right.
joking. I had that loaded before you even finished the sentence. I'm like, anything you say, I'm gonna say who.
I don't care what he says.
I don't care what that nigga say. I'm gonna say who.
Oh, my nigga.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Something that excited me beyond absolute belief this week is Pixar's new film. Set in
Oh yes,
Toronto.
Yes,
Onia.
and it's so subtly Toronto.
Bro, we gotta get somebody that is involved with this show.
I'm very excited. I wonder, like, this person is. Well, I know the person who's written this, who directed this, is the lady who made Bao.
Bao
Which won
was
the Oscar.
another Toronto Pixar thing that I'd
Slapper.
never seen. Apparently, it was a short
It's a
before
short.
an actual movie.
I don't think it's a movie. I think
No?
it's just a short.
Just a short by
Yeah,
itself. I've never seen it, but I've heard it's extremely adorable.
Very adorable.
I've heard it's extremely adorable, and it's set in
So,
Toronto.
yes.
And apparently, it would appear that there's a large Asian community in Pixar that's from Toronto, because we're getting
Community.
2 Asian stories
this-
back to back.
It's just the same lady though.
This is the same lady.
Same
in this,
lady who directed.
No, but that's
Bao.
what I'm saying. Like they're choosing to focus on
Oh, of
Asian
course.
stories in the city.
Yeah, and I think that's part of like there's a strong resurgence and like
Yeah.
a searching in the culture.
Now this resurgence,
I think that's a little financially viable as well. Of course,
This is
It's
the-
You think we got sold by accident? No. Granted,
I'll go
by the
for- I'm
time
going
I
further
wouldn't
with
even go
this
further.
one.
You think we got Princess and the Frog by
I
accident?
think China has us in their hands.
Yo, you have to sell to China, of course. But I also
Look
think
at everything that's happening
But
with.
you're thinking very big. I think
Very.
that's a secondary market in this. I think that
How?
there's a strong primary. Look at Bling Empire. Look at what's the one where they?
But why do you think it's secondary?
I think there's a significant Asian population in North America that
Oh
really
yeah,
wants to
no,
see this.
there's a significant Asian population around the world. It doesn't matter where you release this shit, they gonna make the money. That's not a question. That's not even my
There's a
concern.
significant Asian population around the world.
Around the world.
No, what I'm saying is I think there's, since like the push for it, I think everybody's open for the pop culture for it. Like the pop cultural essence of it or timeliness is like very ripe.
I mean, I feel like you can set things up to look a certain way.
I think there's a lot of movies that are on the board and we're like, we'll make it Asian. I
Okay,
think
so
that's
for
happening.
example, there's also something I thought about the other day. Music videos, right? With
Okay.
especially women music videos.
Like Missy Elliott woman or
Just women music videos these days.
Cody, what's her face?
I don't know who Cody, what's her face. I don't know anybody named Cody. Koi, you mean?
Koi, yeah.
All these women that
Cody.
in this,
What am I
in
talking
this
about?
2021 are showing a lot more, doing a lot more in the music videos sexually. I mean,
Oh, I see.
And-
The dominance of sexuality is not just a
Exactly.
male thing now; it's a female thing.
Well,
a woman
I
thing.
think it's being disguised as female empowerment while serving misogyny secretly.
Now,
So do you see what I'm saying?
I would like to hope that there's agency because you always got to granting women agency and making sure women have agency is
of course,
I
no,
believe-
definitely.
No, but I believe that's some.
We
level
also
to
know
it.
that there are gatekeepers in media.
This is true.
We see what they want us to see.
This is true.
Things that don't fall in line.
This is true. And it's funny you bring that up because another fun podcast that I really like is called No Skips from The Ringer.
Yes.
Chase Serrano, Brandon Jenks
Yeah.
from Complex, formerly
Love
of Complex.
Jenks.
Great. And their producer, Jonathon Kerm, very funny guy. Like, they make him do these funny... It's a great podcast. You should listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Beside that, they just did Little Kim's first album.
Okay.
They reviewed it. And then there's a conversation of like, is she owning her sexuality, but she's also very young? Is she probably like, are people just profiting off of the sexuality?
Exactly.
I think now that we've seen the Britney Spears story kind of unravel, we have an appreciation for her. She was very, very young when she was putting out very promiscuous music.
Yep.
And obviously wasn't her doing. It was more the doing of the label. So I
Mm-hmm.
agree. There's a conversation for that. But I also think there's a good conversation for a lot of women. Just enjoy it just as much as anybody else.
I wouldn't say they don't. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is it's easy to frame something in the good light these days when it's challenging status quo because progression
They're
is
double packaging
on
the
outside
sexuality.
Of,
Yeah.
Progression is literally on the outside of status quo.
Right.
And so whatever direction you choose to go, if people believe the world is moving in a certain direction,
Right.
the right's here telling you that everything is a pandering, the left's telling you that, things are progressing, things are getting better.
Right.
How do we know what's
How
what?
do you make sense of any of that in between?
How do you make sense of it?
a
So
good
then now with China, we've seen the power that they hold.
Well, the economic dollars is just by virtue of population, but also
Virtual population exporting, like
Yep.
all the resources.
it's a large market.
It's a large market that we rely on for a lot of things.
Accurate.
And so we see when assistant coach on Houston tweets something out of line, he's got to apologize or China's taking the NBA out of China.
Right.
Right? We see what's it called? who had to apologize, and it's part of the reason why I think
it wasn't LeBron. LeBron didn't say anything. Somebody else had to
apologize. Stephen A. Smith recently had to apologize, in which
that's not China though, but that's broadly
Asian community, but China, part of the Asian community. If you can insult one, you insult them all. So it's like, I'm just seeing
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm just seeing this.
I think those are two different issues.
But I've seen Stephen A. say disparaging things about people.
No, but I think
throughout his entire 20-year plus career.
I agree. I think they're similar issues, but I think they're a little different.
How?
Or in the same vein, but they exist in two different parts of the Venn diagram. One's like a country. So since we're exporting content to a country, a portion of that country politically has to like yay or nay it. Hence the Danny Ainge NBA thing. The whole of the country felt disrespected by what he said because it's about politics. Happens to be in China. With the Stephen A. Smith, Otani, the baseball player, and he should have a translator or whatever, is more xenophobia to the Asian American or the American settled Asian folks.
Okay.
Why they're watching baseball. I don't think China gives a fuck what's going on over here. Because China's like, we would rather have all of the good baseball players in China.
Yeah.
We would rather these two are separate, but the same community is impacted by it over here in North America. So like the same Asian community can be upset that Danny Ainge is saying something about, or the fact that China is cracking down on it because they may feel that. And then the same community in North America can also be pissed off that Stephen A. is, but to the person who's made the mistake, both communities seem like the same.
Are we assuming that the Asian American demographic contributes largely to ESPN's viewership?
I wouldn't say specifically, but I think there's also like a general left disposition to be like.
But that would be, then he would have apologized for Nigeria.
He did, just wasn't as loud. He did, yeah.
Why wasn't it as loud?
Well, I think. Well, also you have to forget. Black Americans are not as united as a whole Asian demographic.
But
An Asian demographic is a little bit more culturally united. The Black Americans also feel a lot like the way Stephen A. did about Nigeria.
Of course they do.
Or African nations
Americans in general. I would assume
what
Americans
I'm saying
in
is
general.
His need to apologize is a large community versus a very, very small minority.
Okay.
Both things should be apologized in the same framework.
That's my thing.
I agree. Different demographics.
But you see, you're serving a demographic.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
And we just agreed that the Asian American
is
demographic is not their main viewership.
No, but I'm saying like there's other people on the left or left leaning that also would agree with like what he said is a lot of
Who cares?
I don't know. Who cares?
Who
a lot
cares?
of people care. People care, obviously. People love apologies.
People love apologies, but my thing is it would be the same. It would be the same across the board, regardless of what you have to apologize for.
And
if people
everybody's
wanted
demographics
apologies.
were
Yeah, exactly. So
We're
it's
aligned.
like I can't help but think it has something to do.
This is
with
all
the
in part
larger
that
picture.
why there's more content that is more Asian directed.
Exactly, and I'm happy about it. Don't get me wrong.
Right. It's just an interesting development.
Listen, you've tried so many different ways to break into this industry, the noble way,
Right.
the honorable way,
Right.
and nobody let you in. Do what you got to do.
Listen, if
strong arm these bitches. I don't give a fuck.
If people want to put me in the movie, make the movie.
Bro,
Let's make the movie.
Facts. I would do the same thing if I
Do you
was
think
China.
it's like a blaxploitation era situation that's going on, where it's almost like Asian not exploitation, but like they're hiring.
I don't think it's exploitation only because, first of all, there's too many people watching now.
Right.
Too many voices that have a voice.
But isn't exploitation? Like, granted, so let's say blaxploitation happens now.
Okay.
Which I don't think is entirely wrong, but it could be happening. Even
it is happening,
fans.
But it's not.
But
it's
if
like
they hire you to direct and me to host,
yeah,
or me to write or whatever, but it's all white studios, and they know that right now the black dollar is a little bit better right now. We wouldn't mind having a show. Is it still exploitation?
No, I don't think so. It depends on the elements within that show.
I don't think
the exploitation is necessarily just using black bodies behind the scenes. It's how you're displaying black bodies.
Not even behind the
on
scenes.
screen.
Even if we're the ones producing the content, and where it's all self-run content. Like blaxploitation was like, we'll take your idea, we'll make it for you.
Yeah.
But we're doing everything. It just so happens that most of that money is getting okayed by a studio that's white. They're just reading the demographic tea leaves. They're like, black people want stuff, we'll make a black thing. Yeah. Black Panther. Oh, Asian people want something. Shang-Chi's was going in. So now we're just like, oh, there's a demographic. We'll let all of the right people direct it. Ryan Coogler. I don't know who's directing Shang-Chi.
I have no idea.
whomever. But they're like, well, make sure like the right people direct it. Well, with Captain Marvel, they got a woman to direct it. They're like, this is pro. We'll get everybody directed, but we're doing it because we know that it's financially viable for us to make these stories.
Yeah.
They're not making it out of the goodness of like we're actually developing.
Well, that's with anything, right? We're in capitalism. At the end of the day, it's about making money, right? And so if if this is exactly what I'm talking about, you can make something look like it's for the good.
It's facts.
When really it's a marketing thing. It's a money thing at the end of the day.
And they know which way
people are going to play into it because it's quote unquote progression.
And we also get stories produced. So I mean like it's a very self-serving,
Everyone
everybody
wins sort of thing, right?
So is this not the case then? So they're making more Asian content and everybody's happy.
It depends on where it goes after this.
If it
continues,
it
has to become status quo.
Yeah,
it can't just disappear like adventure films.
It can't just be a genre. It has to be part of the fabric.
It has to be a part of the fabric. Like you have to intertwine their realities, their communities, their stories with everybody else.
Like an Invincible.
Stuff to think about. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Another week of the Concession Stand. We've got content coming for you guys. Don't worry about it. Things are happening.
Things to click on, things to watch.
Things to watch. And we really appreciate you guys coming through, all 10 of you. Shout out to Gabe.
Hey, tens of listeners.
Hey.
Tens.
Maybe leave a comment. Show us you're here.
Post it somewhere. And not just the other podcasts that we interact with.
Indeed.
Maybe other people.
Indeed. I'll get you on the Extra Gravy show. Maybe we can get like 5 more people.
Bring
on
me
the show.
back.
Come through.
I gotta keep stacking up.
You gotta keep stacking
up.
It's
like a home run derby. I gotta keep coming back to hit it out the park.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Marlon.
I've been Gabe.
And that was the Concession Stand.
Peace.